Stop. Be silent. Look at your life. How many decisions have you made today that were truly yours? How many actions were programmed reactions? How many emotions were conditioned reflexes? You wake up, scroll through the feed, respond on autopilot, run without knowing where to, live as if life were a race with no finish line. You seek approval, fear failure, depend on others' moods. You call this freedom. The Stoic calls this a prison. We are trapped, not by chains, but by the worst kind of captivity. Psychological, internal, invisible. A prison where the chains are made of dopamine, social validation, and fears we don't dare name. But there is a way out. It's not easy. It's brutal. It's philosophical. Stoicism is not a religion. It's a mental battlefield, a daily training of inner strength, a philosophy forged not to be read, but lived. And in this video, we will cross 8 Stoic mind hacks that, if taken seriously, can not only unlock your potential, but unearth your forgotten freedom. Hack 1. Dichotomy of Control. The brain needs boundaries. You drown in anxiety because you try to control what isn't yours. Your focus is on others' opinions, an uncertain future, an irreversible past. Epictetus declares, "Some things depend on us, others do not." Everything changes when you truly understand this, not intellectually, but viscerally. You stop wasting energy where you have no agency. And for the first time you breathe. But knowing is not enough. You must internalize this dichotomy. Imagine every thought is an investment. You place energy in each idea, each worry. If you invest where you have no control, you are emotionally bankrupt. Wisdom is reallocating your attention, letting go of others' theater, and focusing on your own video. Being the author of your narrative, and it starts with the courage to say, "This is not mine." Hack 2. Memento Mori. Death as an awakener. You act like you have time, as if life were a rehearsal. But it's the premiere, and it could end tomorrow. Remembering death is not morbid, it's liberating. When you internalize that you will die, decisions become clearer. False urgencies vanish. Priorities realign. Fear loses power. Because you stop running from life. Death is not the end. It's the filter. When you think of it daily, you start to separate the essential from the noise. Time is not just limited, it's sacred. Every wasted minute is an affront to your existence. Memento Mori is a call to presence, to conscious urgency, to a fierce love for life. It's the daily reminder that tomorrow is a luxury, and living fully is a radical act. Hack 3. Amor Fati. Love. The uncontrollable life will not follow your video. And that is not a mistake. It's the structure of reality. Amor Fati is not resignation, it's power. It's saying, "I accept and love everything that happens because I trust my ability to respond to it." Instead of resisting, you flow. Instead of complaining, you transform. What was an obstacle becomes the way. Accepting fate is accepting your greatness. The Stoic understands that chaos is not a detour. It's the raw material of virtue. Amor Fati is a war against victimhood. It is the end of resistance and the beginning of transcendence. You don't choose the events, but you choose what they mean. And that choice is where your freedom lives. Hack 3. Amor Fati. Love. The uncontrollable life will not follow your plans. And that is not a mistake. It's the structure of reality. Amor Fati is not resignation, it's power. It's saying, "I accept and love everything that happens because I trust my ability to respond to it." Instead of resisting, you flow. Instead of complaining, you transform. What was an obstacle becomes the way. Accepting fate is accepting your greatness. The Stoic understands that chaos is not a detour. It's the raw material of virtue. Amor Fati is a war against victimhood. It is the end of resistance and the beginning of transcendence. You don't choose the events, but you choose what they mean. And that choice is where your freedom lives. Hack 4. Negative visualization. Mental rehearsal of chaos. You fear the future because you haven't faced it yet. The Stoics mentally trained for worst-case scenarios. Losses, failures, betrayals. Not out of pessimism, but strategy. By visualizing the worst, you strengthen the emotional muscle. When, not if, tragedy comes, you don't collapse. You act. Rehearse suffering. Anticipate the blow. Embrace the worst as a possible scenario and prepare your soul to face it. This is not despairing before the pain, but ensuring it doesn't destroy you. The Stoics didn't want easy lives. They wanted unbreakable souls. And that soul is born in the forge of negative visualization. Hack 5. Voluntary deprivation. Fasting as a teacher. You're a slave to comfort. You think you need a lot to live well. Do you really? Seneca fasted, slept on the floor, wore rags, being one of the richest men in Rome. Why? To remember that none of it is necessary. Freedom begins when you stop fearing loss, and you stop fearing loss when you learn to live with less. Voluntary deprivation is a scream against dependency. It is soul training. Excessive comfort atrophies the spirit. Unlearning luxury is relearning the essential. When you feel hunger and do not panic, something inside you awakens. When you give up the superfluous by choice, you gain a form of power that no one can take. Hack 6. Self-mastery. Your mind is not your master. You think you feel and then react. But the Stoics knew, between stimulus and response, there is freedom, there is reason, there is you. Training self-mastery is training freedom. It is saying no when the body says yes. It is acting consciously where impulse screams. And this is daily, harsh, liberating. You are not your desires. You are not your anger. You are not your addictions. You are the force that observes all of this and chooses not to give in. Stoicism offers you the chance to become greater than your instincts, not to deny them, but to guide them. And that is true sovereignty, not being a puppet of your own brain. Hack 7. Radical simplicity. Less is more truthful. The life they sold you is inflated. More money, more status, more speed. But the essential is simple. Deep breath. Do what's right. Serve. Help. Sleep well. Think clearly. The good life is not complex. It is essential, and the essential is almost always silent. Simplicity is not poverty. It's clarity. It's having few desires, and therefore little anguish. It's living with purpose, not excess. The less you need, the freer you are. True wealth is internal. And the Stoic knows that peace is not in much. It's in enough. Hack 8. Cosmic perspective. You are less than a dot. Anger, pride, vanity, all are born from the swollen ego. Marcus Aurelius looked at the stars and saw the ridiculousness of his own importance. You are not the center. You are part of the whole. And understanding this heals the obsession with control, reason, victory. You stop competing and start collaborating. You stop proving and start living. Looking at the cosmos is an exercise in humility, a punch to the ego. You realize your personal tragedy is just a thread in a vast tapestry. And this, far from depressing, is liberating, because by recognizing your smallness, you gain greatness. You connect with the whole and find peace not in dominating, but in belonging. In a world of distractions, attention is revolution. In a world of dopamine, fasting is resistance. In a world of noise, silence is power. Stoicism is not in ancient books. It's in the present. It's when you choose not to react to an insult, when you accept pain without dramatizing, when you act ethically despite temptation, when you thank chaos because it reveals who you are. Imagine this. You're stuck in traffic. Someone cuts you off. Your first reaction is impulse. Shout, honk, retaliate. But the trained Stoic is not reactive. He breathes. He observes. He remembers that this is beyond his control. And in that simple act, the pause, he is free. You're home, alone. Boredom eats at you. In seconds, you're on your phone, seeking stimulus. The Stoic instead dives into boredom, transforms restlessness into introspection. He understands discomfort is not an enemy, it's a master. And every discomfort faced without escape is a dose of power. At work, chaos reigns, crises, goals, pressure. The Stoic does not wait for the world to change. He strengthens himself for the world as it is. He doesn't seek safety but preparation. His mind is armed, his values firm, his routine conscious. And that's why he is trustworthy. Not because he knows everything, but because he knows himself. You feel anxiety. Natural. But the Stoic listens. He asks, what am I trying to control that doesn't depend on me? He investigates. He doesn't flee from the symptom. He seeks the cause. And by doing so, he not only soothes the discomfort, but heals the root of suffering. Stoicism is current because human nature is unchanged. The scenery shifts. The algorithms evolve. Crises transform. But the ego remains fragile. The fear of rejection, loss, pain is the same. The difference now is we have technology to numb it all, but we also have philosophy to face it. You don't need more stimulation. You need more silence. You don't need more likes. You need more presence. You don't need more control. You need more surrender. Stoicism didn't come to please you. It came to free you. And freedom demands sacrifice, demands looking in the mirror and destroying the illusions that keep you comfortable, but captive. You are capable of much more. But you must stop running from yourself. You must accept pain as an ally, death as an advisor, chance as a teacher. You must give up comfort to conquer strength. Life won't go easy on you, but it can refine you. Tragedy can become temple, failure a professor, humiliation a bridge. It all depends on the lens you use. It all depends on the soul with which you respond. Epictetus was a slave, Seneca exiled, Marcus Aurelius, an emperor under pressure. Your condition doesn't matter. Your disposition does. What do you do with what was done to you? That's the question, and the answer begins today. It begins with one act, becoming stoic. You will err, fall, falter. But with each fall, a chance to rise better. Not more reactive, but reflective. Not more deluded, but awake. Not more superficial, but essential. You're not here to please. You're here to impact. To live with virtue, with courage, with clarity. Stoicism is not for everyone. It's for those who choose to be whole in a broken world. For those who dare to be free in a time of voluntary servitude. So, choose. Don't wait. Don't wish. Act. Be. Transcend. And remember, philosophy is not theory. It is practice. It is daily choice. It is action in the face of adversity. And above all, it is the courage to be yourself. Even when everything around you calls for you to be someone else. Be stoic. Not tomorrow. Now,